theories. We all have them. And specifically today, I'm going to be talking about a theory in the show Klikbot Mutant Monster Madness. Now listen, Klikbot Mutant Monster Madness is absolutely amazing. But I'm not going to be really talking about how amazing it is. Instead, I'm going to be talking about one specific thing in the series. And that has to do with one of its main characters, Cosmo. Now, don't get this confused with, like, Galaxy Defenders. Like, they're different shows, okay? But one is clearly better than the other one. Anyways, today, I'm going to talk about how Cosmo is the monster. Now, what monster, you may ask? Well, basically, the show is, kind of about monsters, because it's literally in the name. But other than that, there are a lot of monsters in the show, so how can it be specifically one monster? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, the three main episodes I'm going to be referring to is Episode 1, Episode 7, and Episode 8. All the other episodes do have, some meaning, but they're not that important for this theory to make sense, so I'm not going to mention them. But let's first discuss Episode 7. Now, in this specific episode, Cosmo goes to the science lab and meets two Stikbots, Carla and Carlton. But both of them get killed. How did they both get killed? Well, they got killed by the scientist. And what happened to the scientist? Cosmo killed the scientist, even though he wasn't allowed to. Now, how does this have anything to do with monsters? Well, specifically, the science lab they're at was a monster lab. And this lab might have something to do with the mass amount of monsters in Zingtopia. And right after Cosmo kills the scientist, a monster breaks out. Now, how did that monster get there? Well, early in the episode, we see that Zebo actually broke the monsters out of its shell because he was falling for a while. Now, of course, Zebo and Cosmo win this fight. Now, that got me thinking, how are the monsters being controlled? What kind of characteristics do they have? Now, yes, they're monsters and they attack, but for example, a monster like Giggles, he can fully speak. And he's pretty dangerous. But other monsters, they can't speak. But then they're also really dangerous. And they always seem to go after the same Klikbots. Now that might be because they are the Klikbots that are being sent out to take down the monsters. But is that really it? Because if you think about it, when Cosmo went to the science lab, he wasn't even supposed to go to the science lab. Now, the scientist kills Carla and Carlton. But why did he specifically kill them at that moment? I mean, sure, he does explain it, but why then? Why not literally any other time? Why specifically when Cosmo is there? And I think that's because the scientist is secretly a monster. Because he possibly created all the monsters, but he himself is also a monster. And if they're a monster, that means they like to kill stuff. Because they're a monster, that means they like to kill Stikbots. And you notice how Cosmo is there, and that's when they die? Well, that's because Cosmo has been controlling all the monsters without him even knowing. I mean, think about it. In the very first episode of the entire series, it literally starts off with Cosmo explaining how he's being sent out to kill these monsters. And technically, he does successfully kill Giggles. Didn't that seem a bit too easy? I mean, have you seen some of Giggles' powers? He seems a little bit overpowered. But despite that, he's still able to kill Giggles. Now, he does have help from Cannon, but still. And Cosmo also seems to be able to kill all the monsters, like the Scientist, Gigantus, and many more. And if these monsters are so powerful, how is he able to defeat them one after another? And that's because the monsters can't kill him. Because Cosmo is the monsters. And the monsters can't kill their controller. Yeah, they can hurt them a lot, but they can't fully kill them. And because of all this, even though Cosmo is able to kill all the monsters, Cosmo can't always stop the monsters from killing other Stikbots. And that is why Cosmo is the monster, and he is also the main enemy of the series. I mean, technically he's been in almost every single episode, and he might be able to kill all the monsters, but he won't be able to save everyone in the process. So I think eventually he'll get to the point where a non-monster, like another Klikbot, will have to step up and sacrifice Cosmo for the greater good. But hey, that's just a theory. A Stikbot. Well, technically it's a Klikbot theory, but it's still a Stikbot theory, okay? I hope you enjoyed the theory I put out there. Now again, it's just a theory, but I think a lot of this adds up. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more theories like this, because I have a lot more. Some of them are more dumber than other ones, but I have a lot of theories in my mind for some of the other Stikbot series. So yeah, that's the theory, and bye.